What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's get into what's going on over there in Iraq. Because as the value of the US dollar drops, I'm curious how this is affecting currencies around the world. So we're going to get into that here in just a tittle bit. I've been expecting some announcements in the news, and I'll talk about that here in just a tittle bit. You guys, right now, if you are thinking about precious metals, and I'm sure most of you are, again, give our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange a consideration. The link is in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you buy more than $100 worth of precious metals, please use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and get your free half ounce of silver. You might want to get that right about now. Over here, we got Pippis Investment Chat, same name as the YouTube channel. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. No politics. Keep that for over here, which is the hidden things that are in front of your eyes. Over here, you can talk about politics, QAnon, NESARA, GESARA, current events, 9/11, false flag events, chemtrails, whatever. Just be respectful of one another. For those of you who are interested, I do have a Twitter account. Come join me on over there. Whether you do or don't have Facebook, you guys might want to join me over here because they are closing down. As a matter of fact, 3 groups that I go to get information from have been wiped off Facebook. So Facebook is cleaning house, and they're doing it in a very, very Soviet-style communist way. Anything that has any information about politics, NESARA, GESARA. I've seen 3 NESARA, GESARA groups removed now. Anything pertaining to the Rona, they're being removed. They're just trying to censor and control the narrative all the way around. And so just to be on the safe side, you guys come join me over here on Twitter. The link is in the description. All right, so before I get into this, people are like, you keep talking about things you want to see in the news. Well, there are some things I'm aware of. Well, actually, there's a lot of things I'm aware of that's happening over there in Iraq. I'm interested about a lot of the currency movements that are happening. I told you guys about this a long time ago. I noticed, I think it was about 3 or 4 months ago, that the BIS, which is the Bank of International Settlements, there was about 22, 27 or so countries that were all involved in currency swaps, involving Iraq, which I thought was interesting, and I was hoping that kind of meant something. I still think it does, but I'm just curious to see what direction it goes into. Also, I told you guys, there's oil I told you guys about. So there's this massive oil reserve that's in the Al-Anbar area, which is it's a Sunni stronghold. And so there is a huge untapped and undeclared proven reserves there. And I was thinking that they would make some type of announcement regarding it, and that would help with part of this revaluation that we're expecting to happen. Because if I'm not mistaken, the report is that would make Iraq number one in oil reserves. I think is what the article said. So nonetheless, I'm curious to see about these announcements. There's a lot of things happening really quick. Some things that are disturbing to me. And some things that are exciting to me. All right. So some of you guys who listen to my videos, then you know what the excitement is. The move on silver right now is exciting. But there are some other things that I'm seeing that I don't like a whole lot. But we'll get into what's going on over here in Iraq. So the Kurdistan Regional Delegation by the Ministry of Interior arrives in Baghdad and meets with al-Arji. Okay. So this again, it's just a high-ranking delegation from Kurdistan region government, headed by the Minister of Interior, arrived Friday in the capital of Baghdad. So the provincial government delegation started its current visit by meeting with the National Security Advisor. The delegation will also meet with the Prime Minister and Commander-in-Chief, our boy, Mr. Al-Kadhimi. So it goes on to talk about what this article is the same as the one below. I won't get too much into this, but what they're talking about is, ways they could, like they've been, getting recognition for things that happened in the past also doing what they can to make sure that soldiers are paid, that the government workers are paid, making sure the borders are secure, and doing something about the thousands, tens of thousands of the displaced people. Okay, so there's another article down a little bit lower that covers it a little bit better, but again, that's just it in a nutshell. Iraq joined the European Bank. So what does this mean? The Ministry of Financial Affairs or Foreign Affairs said on Friday that the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development granted the country's membership in its council after a 2-day voting process. This is good. Kinda. I'll tell you more about the European Bank later on that I got concerns about. The ministry said in a statement today that the members of the boards of governors of the European Bank agreed to Iraq's accession to the council during the voting process witnessed by an annual meeting of board of governors to be held in London for a period of October the 7th through the 8th, which means it's already passed. According to the ministry, Iraq's formal accession to the bank's membership will allow its to be benefit from international banking expertise to develop the banking sector and to obtain technical support and assistance that creates a suitable ground for investments. Now, this is going to lead to, I'm going to do a Pimpy's rant later on. I'm seeing something happen here that's kind of bothering me. And so this joining the European Bank, this is not surprising. I'm seeing something real disturbing about banks, but again, I don't want to put it in here. So just remember, if you go to listen to the other bank, that we talked about this article, that the European Bank is now working with Iraq and put them on as a member, and they're going to do what they can to make sure that their banking system is up to par. Think about what that means, and I'll tell you a little bit later. Iraqi Bank released the salaries of the internal employees. Once again, when you read articles like this, I really do feel sorry for employees. They seem to do a lot of work and don't get paid when they're supposed to. So nonetheless, the civil defense, the police, all of them, the brigades, civil status, passports, the police commanders, all them people, all the people are there to protect people and keep an eye on things are getting paid finally. So here's that other part of this, which is the Baghdad and Sinjar put on final touches to the normalization agreement in Sinjar. So this again is the same as the article up above. It does a little back history on them, but again, this talks about the agreements between the two, just how they can work together. This is big again. This is going to put in more of a squeeze on Iran, of course, and I'm curious how they're going to respond as far as these attacks on the embassy. So let's see if they step it up. U.S. sanctions on Iranian banks. This is not Iraq. This is Iran. Today, the U.S. Treasury announced the imposition of sanctions on 18 Iranian banks as part of the policy of maximum pressure exercised by the U.S. administration against the regime of Tehran, against the backdrop of a dispute over the Iranian nuclear program and other files. So the executive order 13902 was implemented, signed in by Donald Trump, of course. The prohibitions of the executive orders does not apply to operating regular or operations relating to agriculture, commodities, food, medicine, or medical devices. He's not that cold-blooded, people. So again, more of a squeeze on Iran. Let's see how they respond. It should be interesting. Also, don't be surprised if the beginning of next week or middle of next week we hear about a possible 2 more countries coming aboard in a peace agreement. We'll see. The European Union announces that it has taken steps to remove Iraq from this list of high-ranked countries, high-risk countries. So this to me now is starting to make more sense why they're doing this. They want them to get aboard with this European Commission. Again, I'll put it in a rant. I don't want to waste too much time here. So this to me makes more sense why they're going to go ahead and do it. It has more to do with what I think the overall goal is between the European Central Bank and our Federal Reserve. I see exactly what it looks like they're trying to do. And so this is not surprising. They're going to try to, each place is going to try to get, actually the European Central Bank is going to probably try to grab as many countries as possible and put them aboard. Again, there's a reason for that. There is talk about a global currency reset, but I think, again, in my rant, I'll cover that. But nonetheless, so the ambassador to the European Union said that we have taken a number of steps to remove the name of Iraq from the list of high-risk countries, according to the urgent news broadcast. Before then, Hussein, the foreign minister, assured that the head of the UN missions to strengthen the security in vital areas, according to an urgent news broadcast by the media. Iraq's foreign minister said, "We have made great efforts to establish security in the green zones and the airport, which is what the international community is looking for." Right, so that's a good thing. An American delegation discussed enhancing investments in trade with the Kurdistan region. Again, not so much in Baghdad, but over in Kurdistan. And this goes on to say that Barzani feels like, and they've been meeting with the United States, they feel like they have an opportunity to be big players when it comes to the international community. And so they're working out deals with outside investors. But it goes on to say the same thing I've been saying now for quite a long time, which is just common sense. Right there, Copley emphasized that the United States wants to bring investment into Iraq. So does the international community. But the ability to do so is linked to the security situation and doing away with the corruptions. Now, again, I've been feeling really good about a lot of steps that we've seen Al-Kadhimi take. He really seems to be on the ball when it comes to ending corruptions. So it looks like Iraq is being positioned by both Europe and America to really help Iraq to develop a booming economy is what it looks like. All right, so this is good news. Again, this is what we want. We've already talked about this. Now, this is good news as well. Iraq announces a record number of outlet revenues within one day. So the border port authorities, remember they set a record not that long ago. It looks like they broke it. The border port authorities announced on Thursday that the revenues at the central port amounted to more than 5 billion dinars on Wednesday alone. This is good. We want more revenues outside of the oil, so I like when I see this stuff. The commission said in a statement received by the news that the total revenues generated from customs and tax revenues at the port on October 7th amounted to 5,781,468,000 billion dinars, resulting from the trade exchange movements in the aforementioned ports. So again, this is good. This is a result of Al-Kadhimi swapping out the senior people that he thought was corrupt, putting in the right people, making all the necessary changes to policies or procedures so that the corrupt people, it's making it hard for people to be corrupt there. And now now they're starting to really generate revenues. This is awesome. This is great news. I like this. I really do like what Al-Kadhimi is doing, okay? And then on here, just a continuation from what I was talking about before, Barzani, the Kurdistan region, faces an opportunity to become an important commercial center. And it goes on in detail talking about what we talked up here about Copley. Outside investors, including the United States, want to get into Iraq. All right? So, again, I'm watching the dollar drop, and I'm curious to see how this starts to affect exchanges. Now, again, it's a slight drop, and it's been consistently going down. So what does that mean about currencies? Well, obviously, if the U.S. dollar goes down, other currencies go up. Brings me back over to our friends over at UK Dinar FX. So again, you guys are asking about where to buy the Iraqi dinar. Come buy it over here. They have it here. It's available. Most websites are sold out. This is international, so you guys can buy this from anywhere around the world. The Vietnam dong, the Zim dollar, the Indonesia rupiah, so the Iraqi dinar. So they ship anywhere internationally. So the link is in the description. If you guys buy anything from them, don't forget, you guys can save a little money just by using discount code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, all right? Save yourself a little money. Not too shabby whatsoever. So anyways, you guys, look, again, there's a lot of positive movements for Iraq. I'm expecting some other news, again, as much as I would love to share it. I'm just it's driving me crazy why it's not in the news yet. But as soon as I spot it, I will share it with you. But you know, the oil thing too is another thing I'm looking for them to announce. So the BIS seems to be making positioned with banks everywhere. Again, I'll talk about that in my rant because there's some things that are good, some things are bad. There's no doubt they've already spoke about a global currency reset. We seem to be in the process of it, although for many of us, we're like, well, then what's been done? Well, it's the things behind the scene to set up the global currency reset that have been done. All right, you guys. So that's it for now, you guys. It does look good. Very happy about it. Good news as always. Iraq doing what they can to get back in the graces of the international community. All right. All right. So that's it for now, you guys. Hit the thumbs up button for me, please. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so. Because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later.